In the bathroom, a Korean woman is caressing the scars on a Chinese woman's back. Slowly, the two women fall in love with each other. Scene back to a few days ago. The woman is called Summer, a Chinese living in Korea. She married Lee, a South Korean, through an immigration agent. Summer worked as a security checker at the Incheon-dun port. One day, the BR-18 line to the Chinese port of Yantai was about to depart. Summer was operating at her post, her forehead plastered with a Bounty brand Band-Aid, having just last night been domestically abused by her husband. At this time, there came a green-hair girl, we call her Miss Green. Miss Green triggers an alarm when she goes through security, so Summer decides there's something wrong with her shoes. The moment Miss Green took off her shoes, Summer saw that Miss Green's fingernails and the fireworks tattoo on her chest were also green. Summer reports to her supervisor that Miss Green's shoes don't look normal and that she is not cooperating with the investigation. The supervisor stated that Ms. Green was normal because he was a regular customer who came and went several times a month. Is the supervisor intentionally excusing Miss Green? It's possible. Summer is having a hard time when Miss Green directly states that she doesn't want her shoes anymore and that she doesn't want to be on the boat. Summer leaves work and misses the round of shuttles by 3 seconds. Her husband, Lee, dials the phone and Summer just hangs up. That's when Ms. Green shows up, realizes Summer is Chinese, and insults Summer in her newly learned Chinese. Ms. Green comes to Summer because Summer left her without shoes. Not wanting to argue, Summer takes Miss Green straight to her home and gives him a pair of little white shoes. Miss Green didn't think of herself as an outsider at all and came in to rummage through the boxes. There are various maps, large and small, on the walls, and the red box is filled with hundreds of tickets and a group photo. In the picture was Summer and his mother. Ms. Green was about to wash her feet and put on her shoes when the water and power went out at home. This is the apartment Summer rented herself. The landlord said Lee came in the morning and has returned the Summer house to rent. Summer returned to the room and found Miss Green's black bag open inside a lot of cosmetic boxes with white powder hidden in the boxes. As a security inspector, Summer knew at a glance that it was drugs. Summer immediately called to report the supervisor. Halfway through the call, Miss Green came over and knocked on the door. Summer quickly grabbed a flamethrower to resist. Ms. Green simply stopped pretending that she was helping her boyfriend, Dong, transport drugs. The drugs come from Southeast Asia, Dong is responsible for the supply, and Ms. Green is responsible for delivering them to China. There is also a criminal gang that helps Dong to deliver the drugs, and Ms. Green is just one of them. So far, she hasn't been caught, so she's very lucky, but today she was exposed. Ms. Green wants to leave, but Summer won't let her. Ms. Green offered to make a deal, saying I'll give you 10 million won if you take me to Seoul. Summer doesn't agree and the two are at a standstill. Downstairs come two men, associates of Ms. Green, to pick up the drugs. Ms. Green didn't want to get caught. She wanted to take the drugs for herself and cash in to escape. So Summer asked for 35 million won. What does Summer need the money for? Turns out it's to buy a permanent residence permit. Why does she still have to stay in Korea? Because there's another story here. The story has to do with the map, the ticket, and the group photo just now. The two women have teamed up in Seoul and are eating Korean-style snacks at a roadside stand. Ms. Green's phone rings, and it's her boyfriend, Dong, who calls. The girl gone and so are the goods. Of course Dong wants to find out. And of course Miss Green can't answer it. After dinner, Ms. Green takes Summer to a drug dealer and tries to sell him the goods. But the dealer does not accept this kind of goods from unknown sources. Ms. Green had to check the goods on the spot, and as a result, she overdosed and fainted. Summer didn't want to leave Ms. Green behind. Having no choice, she gets through to her husband, Lee. Lee picked up the two of them at home. Summer lied that Miss Green was a co-worker and was drunk from drinking. Summer wakes up Miss Green with cool water and then takes a shower herself. The bruises on her shoulders tell us once again that Lee is a sexual deviant sadist. He was civilized one second and a beast the next. Lee pressed Summer to the bed and ravaged her like a madman. Summer was extremely helpless. That's when Ms. Green woke up and knocked Lee out. The two women panic and run away, but Miss Green's black bag is left at Summer's house. Summer stops halfway and, not wanting to involve Miss Green, promises to take it all on herself. Miss Green appears to be a hooligan, but is actually a person who values friendship. But Summer still steps on the gas and rides her motorcycle away from her. Not 3 minutes later, Summer changes her mind and turns around to look for Ms. Green. At a bowling alley, Summer finds Ms. Green, who is bowling. The attendant asked the two to change their shoes, which turned out to be stained with Lee's blood. The two go to the restroom to rinse off. A drunk guy rushes the restroom and just lies down without saying a word. Summer took the cash from the guy's wallet and used it to settle the bill. The guy also had a hotel VIP card in his wallet. The two took the hotel card to the hotel. In the hotel room, they caressed and pestered each other until they had sex. The next morning, the news broadcasts a gas explosion at a residence, killing the man and surviving his wife and daughter. Both women speculate that the wife did it. Summer sees the scene in front of her and recalls a story. There was once a mother who suffered domestic violence and then couldn't take it anymore and set her husband on fire. The daughter was supposed to keep her mother's secret, but under the guidance of the police and the lure of chewing gum, the daughter told the truth. The mother became a murderer and had to leave home, leaving without her shoes. Years go by and the daughter grows up and starts looking for her mother. Yes, the daughter is Summer. The story Summer tells is her personal experience with her mother. That's why Summer must stay in Korea, just to find her mother. That's why she kept the map ticket and group photo in her apartment. The two women left the hotel and drove their motorcycles back to Summer's home. They were going to see if the police had found anything, and more importantly, to bring back the black bag. Summer goes upstairs by herself, the black bag and the drugs are still there. Summer was going to leave, but a strong curiosity guided her back to the bedroom to check on old Lee one more time. It turns out that Lee is not dead. Lee states that as long as Summer doesn't leave, he can pretend nothing happened. Would you believe this man's words? But Summer, who is in a foreign country, has no choice. The green lady downstairs noticed the unusual situation and went upstairs. The weak Summer decides to stay and doesn't want the 35 million won. While Summer is looking for a jacket for old Lee, Ms. Green pushes old Lee down the stairs and this time old Lee is completely dead. Desperate, Summer slaps Ms. Green, and Ms. Green wakes Summer up with a slap in the face. The two women hit the road again and arrive at a seafood market where an owner can acquire drugs. The two had a breakup dinner and smoked their last cigarette, ready to break up. Before parting, Ms. Green strokes Summer's head in a scene that resembles mother and daughter. So the feelings of the two people are very complicated: friendship, love, affection. After Ms. Green left, Summer seems to have gone through some thought struggle, and then also entered the seafood market to find Ms. Green. Looked around, did not find. Summer then went back to work again. Summer was in the middle of a security check when suddenly Miss Green's black bag appeared before her eyes. The current owner of the black bag is a man with dreadlocks. This man is Ms. Green's previous drug-dealing accomplice, who was seen underneath Summer's apartment. Now that this man was going through security with Miss Green's black bag, Summer of course suspected that it contained drugs. Summer was about to follow up with Dreadlock brother. The phone rang, the number was Lee, and the caller was a police officer. The police want Summer to assist in the investigation. The police did not ask a single question, directly informed the Summer that Lee had a heart attack in the middle of the night and fell down the stairs to his death. Summer pretended to be calm and said that she had a fight with her husband last night before she left for work and smashed everything in the house. When she went upstairs, the house was calm and everything was fine, including the blood on the floor, which had long since disappeared. So, Summer's testimony was ruined. But nothing happened. The police even came over and said that it had all been solved, meaning that the police knew the truth but would not continue to pursue the case and stop there. At the same time, the police gave Summer chewing gum to calm her nerves. Summer was in tears and had an emotional breakdown and tried to commit suicide by swallowing 10 pieces of gum. Why is that? Because Summer told the police the truth when she was a kid because of the gum, which led to her mother not being seen alive or dead for over 30 years. After so many years, it's the police and the gum all over again. Summer's remorse and guilt all came back to her, so she wanted to kill herself. But her survival instincts made her spit out the gum. Summer snapped her head up and also noticed a bottle of green hair wax under the table with the words Dong Hair Salon written on it. Obviously Ms. Green had been here, and the clues pointed to Dong Hair Salon. Summer set out immediately to find Dong. Dong is a mute, or maybe he's pretending to be. Summer says she's looking for Ms. Green. Dong sent a bank card, probably meaning that Ms. Green had already left, and the card was left for Summer. Summer sees the little white shoes on the floor and Miss Green's bowling ball lighter in Dong's hand and guesses that Miss Green was killed by Dong. So, sprayed Dong's face with a flamethrower. Enraged, Dong puts Summer in a chokehold. Summer was about to lose consciousness. She manipulates the scissors on the ground, then backstabs Dong. Summer came to the inside of the salon, and behind the metal door there was a puppy. Ms. Green had mentioned that it was her daughter. Summer looks back and takes the puppy with her. This is the main plot of the movie Green Knight. This is a suspenseful movie. The answer can be deduced from the police's attitude towards the Lee case and the state of Summer's family. Summer's testimony was so compromised that the police pretended not to know about it and suggested that the problem had been solved. Who solved it? It was Miss Green. Except for Ms. Green, there seems to be no one else willing to help Summer. Of course, Ms. Green's personal power is limited, and it would take Dong and even the head of the cartel to accomplish this. So the truth could be that Ms. Green made a deal with Dong: I'll give you back the drugs, and you'll help me with Lee's case to protect Summer. Judging from the results, Dong accomplished his mission. And when Ms. Green returned the drugs, Dong killed Ms. Green. Welcome to Subscribe to Whole Recaps. See you in the next issue.